So in this video, I'm going to create a class in which the user will decide the elements of arrays, and then that class and that test bench will just randomize the elements. So they, that class will just jumble the elements in a random order, and then it will print on the console. So let's begin. So I will begin with my class. I will name it jumble. So first, I will declare a dynamic array of ints. I will name it array. And since it's a dynamic array, we will just leave square brackets empty. And then I will declare a rand cyclic int value, and that should be unsigned. And that will be our index. And we will use this index to pick random elements from the given array from the user. And the reason I'm using unsigned is because by default int is signed. So even you are using randc, there's a possibility that it will end up picking the negative value, and which will be disastrous while picking up any element inside array. So for that reason, I'm using this, and I'm using randc so that it will make sure that during the first iteration, during the iteration of complete values, there are no single repeated values. And you can refer to my previous class in which I have discussed the difference between rand and randc. But int has lots of possible values. It has 2 to the power 32 possible values. So we have to make a constraint that the index should be within the range of the array which is provided by the user. So since we have a dynamic array and we don't know that what is the size of the array that is given by the user, so we will use the method dot size. So I will write a constraint. I will name it index range underscore c, and then this is the format of constraint. And inside this, I will just write that index should less than the size of the array. So this method returns the size or the number of elements which are present inside the array. So after we are done with our constraint, so let's move on to function. So first, I will modify the constructor. So the plan of this code is that the user will input uh, their array using the constructor. So here I will mention an argument, and I don't have to write input since by default in SystemVerilog all the formal arguments are input. So whenever the user will pass the array, I will assign that array to the array that is present inside this class. So I will use this, and I will assign the array to this one. So we are done with the constructor. So now we have to use the index because our motto of the class is that we have to pick some random elements from this array. So what I will do, I will create another class, and this time I will name it pick. And what this function will do, it will do a very simple task. It will just return a randomized index. So just it will return a randomized element of the array, which is given by the user. So since the index will be random using the randc, it will just pick up random elements every time we call it. So now I will move on with our test. And right away, the very first thing I will do is to mention that array we want to give. So I want that array, the elements of that array to be of int type. And I will also name it array because this array will be local to the scope of this module. So I will name it array, and I will just make it a dynamic one. And then I will assign some elements. So let's assign uh, the numbers starting from 1 to 9. So now I will just go ahead and declare the handle for our class. Now I will assign the object to that handle. And since we have declared a formal argument inside the constructor of this class, we have to mention some values, otherwise it will show an error. So I mean, this is the aim of this class, that you will pass some value or some array through this constructor, and it will just store it inside its array variable, and then we will use this to pick random elements. So let's just pass this array through the constructor. Okay, so right after doing this, I will repeat, I will write a repeat loop in which it will repeat as per the size of the array. So you could also refer to the user-defined array, but I just refer uh, to the class array. So it's simple. So I'm just trying to make this code in such a way so that the user only have to enter the array element, but still it's the same thing. And this should be repeat. So after that, I will check whether I will randomize the class, jumble class, and I will also put an immediate assertion to check whether the assertion is getting passed or not, or the randomization has any sets of illegal constraints or anything. So as you can see right there that there is nothing wrong with the constraint. Still, I will write an assertion. And inside that immediate assertion, I will just write the handle, else error will be displayed. So I will just write that randomization is failed. So, and after that, what I will do, I will use $display system task. just to call two methods. And those two methods are the, no, I will call only one method, that is the pick method. And I will also use index, this index variable inside the jumble class, just to display that which element is getting printed here. So first, I want to display the element which is getting printed. So I will just use the handle of the class, and I will refer uh, to this index. And then on the next thing I will do is that I will just call this function, and it will return any random element from the array. So these two are getting mutually synchronized. So this concludes our total design. So let's go ahead and check for any compilation errors. I will first save the code. Okay, there are two errors. So okay, it's a typo. Now it should probably work. Yep. So let's run the simulation. So there is a mistake from my side right here, that I was referring to the array element which is present inside the jumble class. So it refers to the array element right here, and by this time it doesn't have any specified size or any specified number of elements. So that's why the code was presenting some ambiguous behavior. So that's why it will be better to refer to the size of the local array variable which is mentioned right here inside the test module. So I will just remove this, and this time it should work just fine. Okay, there are no errors, so let's run the simulation. So as you can see it right here that all the elements that are ranging from 1 to 9 are getting randomized in a in an order, and then they are getting printed like this. So they are just getting jumbled. So, and what is happening right here that uh, first inside the repeat loop. So since this array element has 9 elements in total, so this repeat loop will repeat 9 times, and each 9 times uh, we are randomizing the class through this handle. So each time we are getting some random value for this randomized variable. So we have put some constraint for that variable that it should not be more than the size of the array element. And since the array element is uh, has 9 elements in total, this array has 9 elements in total, so it will be less than 9. So it will repeat from 0 to 8. So using this constraint, we will get the value of this index anywhere from 0 to 8. And then what we are doing here inside this constructor, we are passing that particular element, and using this method, we are storing that array to the local array of this jumble class. And then using the pick method, we are just returning any random elements as per the randc variable index. And we are calling and we are randomizing that class for 9 times, because inside the repeat loop we are using the size method of the user defined array elements. And since we are using randc or rand cyclic, there will be no repetitions of elements. And within 9 with the 9 iterations, it will just pick all the random values which are possible within a range of 0 to 8. So using that, we are just printing that random index, and we are also printing the random element of that index by calling the pick method, which is just returning the uh, the random element as per the index variable, which is declared as randc. So this was a class, a very simple class in which user is putting some array elements, and the code is just randomizing and jumbling those elements and then printing it. So I hope you find this video useful, and thank you so much, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.